Hi, good afternoon. Your world's most favorite data poet here. So the first poem I did this morning was the idea of like the closed system. Then we moved on to the shared system. And now it's dealing with the idea of open data. And I wrote this brief introduction from having conversations with many of you during the course of the day, which will lead me into the poem. And this is how I conceive open data. Back in ancient times, before the advent of mega metropolises, people lived in more isolated existences, closed systems. Some people lived in the mountains, others in the valleys. Some people lived in the forests, others in the fields. Some people lived by the river, and others deep in the heart of the desert. But no matter where people lived, trade knows no boundaries, and ideas care not for borders. So a word from the mountain would eventually reach the valley, and a recipe from the forest will eventually find itself on the plate of someone in the fields. These early steps in the idea of openness had to emerge to allow people to interact, shared systems. And thus, a recognized code of practice will inevitably develop. Now, some people say that the simple handshake was developed in ancient Greece. Other people say that it was in Yemen. It was a basic way of traveling tradesmen and soldiers to show each other that they were unarmed. This willing display of an open hand has evolved to symbolize a gesture of goodwill, an agreement, even a plea for forgiveness. Hello, nice to meet you. Let's shake on this deal. I have no weapon. I'm sorry. Can we be friends? Even the phrase, playing with an open hand, signifies that we must put all our cards on the table. And an unwillingness to do so could be construed as promoting distrust. And it is the distrust that will send us back to the mountains, back to the fields, back to the forests, and back to our deserts with not an open hand, but an empty one. That's how I perceive open data. Thank you. So, with that as my impetus, this last final poem is called Just Data. Is there more to me than just data? Can information rule the highways of my life? Can I find a place amidst the ones and the zeros to steward my thoughts, to create and decide? Surely there's more to me than just data. Will its transparency affect me online? Let he with cleared history cast the first stone, for I'm sure there's a few things that we'd all rather hide. So where do I stand in a world of just data, with knowledge of oil field slick corporate device? Yet can I exist in the ignorance of a wasteland, or reap the harvest that a farmland provides? And what decisions will be made with just data? Will they result in advantageous design? Are we forever tied to the old posts of one's race or one's gender, or will it propose new ways to divide us in tribes? So who am I? Who am I? Am I the movies I've never seen? The house I'll never buy? The money spent on smoothies, my lack of exercise? Am I my social interactions facing the jury of my peers? Those to whom I trust to share my secrets? Those to whom I trust to share my tears? How can we activate the levers to mature beyond such fears, where the learning of our leaders allows innovation to reappear? How can we validate achievement to release an openness of mind? For no seed can ever bloom in darkness. For it to grow, it embraces light. So let us have patience as we learn to love data, to be capable of new engagements in trust. We'll steward, create, and decide on such data. And it's the enlightenment of data, provided that it's just. Thank you.